In this video, I will show you how to make a wire ring with a wire wrap ring band. I'm Amy, and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn about leather, metal, paper, and other types of arts and crafts, or how to grow your art and craft business, start by subscribing and clicking the bell so you won't miss a thing. If you're just starting out with wire jewelry, consider watching our videos on the tools you need for wire wrapping, which I will link in the description below. So here are your basic tools you'll need for making rings. If you are unclear about what each tool does, feel free to rewatch the videos on tools for wire wrapping. You don't necessarily need both types of ring mandrels for this project. The ring gauge is only needed if you don't know the size of the ring you are wanting to make. The wire I'm using for this project is 18 gauge dead soft copper wire. You can use other metals, but avoid a gauge that is too high or low. The beads I selected for this project are stone and have large enough holes to fit the wire through. They are about 1 centimeter in size. You can use slightly larger or smaller beads, but you may need to adjust the wire length. This wire ring has a slightly larger bead, and this bead is not completely round. There is not an exact length of wire to use because of the uncalibrated bead sizes, ring size, the amount of times you want to wrap your wire around your bead, and how tight or loose you make the wraps. This is an alternate style of ring with 3 crystal beads. The wire had to be closed on the other side of the beads instead of against it to avoid the crystals chipping. If you want to wrap the band of your ring, you will need half round dead soft wire. Anywhere from 18 to 22 gauge will work, but 20 gauge will be the easiest to use for this project. For a size 7 ring and a 1 centimeter bead, I use 11 inches of 18 gauge round wire. There is not an exact amount since you will want a little extra, and you can always trim the ends in case they are not even. You can add on an inch or so for each band size larger, and take away around a ½ inch for each size smaller. You don't want to make the wire too short, or the wire will be difficult to hold onto when you are wrapping it around your bead. Once you have your wire cut, mark it with your Sharpie in the center. Don't worry about the mark, since it will be underneath your bead. Once you have your bead centered, then bend the wires against the bead. If you're not using dead soft, you may need to use your pliers. You can, although you don't have to, cross the wire underneath, which will give you an even bend on both sides of the wire and create an extra space to attach your final loop to. If you don't know your ring size, you want to now check your ring gauge to check the size of your finger you will be wearing your ring on. Look where your ring number is on the mandrel. On a step mandrel, there are only whole numbers. So if you are a half size, you may need to use a tapered mandrel. A tapered mandrel will have half and smaller sizes. If you're using a tapered mandrel, you may want to make your ring slightly smaller than your ring size, as you can stretch the ring band slightly while evening out the ring shank. Once you have your mandrel, place your bead on the bottom of the mandrel and directly opposite the bead, cross your wires. Bring the wires to the front where the bead is so the wires cross over. Depending on how soft your wire is, you can use your hands or flat nose pliers to wrap the wire tightly around the stone. Bring the wires up and trim them if they are uneven. If you need to, straighten the wire with your flat or chain nose pliers. If your ends are sharp, you can use a file to smooth down the ends. With your file, try to go in one direction to prevent wear and tear on your files. With your round nose pliers, you want to grab near the end of the wire and walk it through the pliers to create a nice loop. With the wire going around this part, you will avoid any sharp parts of the wire from touching your fingers. Inspect your ring and take your hammer to even out any areas and to work harden the metal. Be careful not to stretch your ring by hammering it at an angle, or it may become too big for your finger. Try on your ring to see if it's comfortable or if it needs to be adjusted. Now, to increase the sturdiness of your band, you can wrap the shank or ring band with half round wire. For a size 7 ring with 22 gauge half round, I used about 12.5 inches. This won't cover the entire band because I want to show part of the thick wires on the ring shank. To cover the entire ring shank, you'll want around an extra 3 inches of half round wire for a size 7 ring. Now put your half round wire through the ring, trying to get even lengths on both sides, with the flat side facing against the band. Take your chain nose or flat nose pliers and gently press the half round wire against the band. You can use your hands or pliers to pull the half round tightly down against the band. You can use your hands or pliers to pull the half round tightly against the band and bring it through the ring. Make sure your wire is snug against the first wire. For the first couple of wraps, make sure you use your pliers to gently press the wire into place. Continue wrapping each side until the wrapped wire is as long as you would like it to be. Make sure you end with the half round cut on the outside of the band, so the cut edge does not scratch your finger every time you put it on and take it off. Once you are done, your ring will be a little too tight and maybe even a little crooked. Use your mallet and gently tap around the ring band, being careful not to hit the beaded area. If you're trying to make your ring a little larger, then tap it at a slight angle to stretch out your band. Hammering your ring shank will also work harden your ring significantly, so it won't bend. Switch the ring on the mandrel occasionally so the band remains even. And there you have it, your finished ring. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for our next video.